Welcome to another episode of Objective Bias featuring yours truly. And the topic at hand today is a very common topic that, if not all of us, most of us experience in our everyday, day to day interaction, amongst people that we surround ourselves with, and things of that nature. Um, Let me preface my conversation or my thoughts and ideas with this is a very subjective topic, so to speak. You feel what I mean? So I'm just giving my thoughts and opinions. Shit, it may help you, it may not. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? I'm just playing. But nah, man, like I just think this is something that we don't truly discuss a lot amongst ourselves. It's almost like an expectation that we have or assume those around us should already have knowledge of or be aware of and just know how to move within. You feel me? But at the end of the day, it's pretty much up to us a lot of times, you know what I mean, to pretty much distinguish the difference between the two. And the topic I'm speaking about is friends versus associates. Now, before I even get started, this is pretty much going to be a two-part or twofold type of perspective that I'm providing. You did what I mean, and you'll get what I mean when I am about to wrap this up, or I'm on the second part of my thoughts and ideas of this. And you know, whatever your definition of a friend, that's your definition. But I just believe there's certain things and qualities you should look out for when you want to label a person a friend versus an associate. You did what I'm saying? So, like for me, a friend is someone first and foremost non-judgmental. And what I mean by that is they will love you at your worst, love you at your best, love you in between, love you when you do some crazy, fucked up shit, and love you just regardless of whatever the fuck you got going on because that's your friend. You did what I mean? Like, and with that, there's not a lot of true friends that are amongst us. You do what I mean? And that's where the associate title comes into play. But yeah, that true friend, they're very not just metal. They're almost like a family member, so to speak. You did what I mean, and they are there at your time of need when you're in your darkest space, when you need somebody to confide in. You know what I mean? It's not all about the fun with friends. You feel what I'm saying? Like friends are there through thick and thin. Like you know what I mean? And I think that as a society, we really don't cherish friendship as much as we're supposed to. You know what I mean? Your friend genuinely has love for you. Like I'm not speaking about like that fake love. I'm only gonna show it when we're around each other. But I love you through thick and thin. You know what I mean? Like, whatever you go through, shit, that affects me too. Shit, I mean, for me, I want my friends to succeed, accomplish, and meet their goals. You know what I mean? I get excited about that. And that should be reciprocated within your friends. Like, there should be no hatred within your circle. You know what I mean? And if there is, that's not a friend. Your friend is not going to be jealous of you. Your friend is not going to be envious of you. They're not going to look at you crazy when you do something. Now, also, your friends are going to hold you accountable as well. Well, at least they should. You know what I mean? And vice versa. You do what I'm saying? Like a lot of times we can go on, down our own path of, and this is in a negative aspect, destruction or chaos or depression or whatever that may look like. And we need our friends to support us. And support can come in so many shape, forms, and fashion, not just from an emotional standpoint or a mental standpoint, just kind of piggybacking off of what I just mentioned as far as what I truly enjoy or look, forward to is my friend succeeding. You know what I mean? Like think about this, because this has happened on a lot of occasions. And me personally, I don't get offended at all. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't take it personal. It is what it is. But say you got like some business going, or you're creating a brand, or you're on your entrepreneurship grind, and you post something on your social media, right? Think about this shit. All of us are reposting, commenting, or whatever the case may be on some shit. But how many times the people that you think that are your friends repost or comment on your shit? Like your individual, endeavors and so to speak. Just think about this shit. The reason I bring that up is because a lot of times, and I don't do it all the time, but if I fuck with you, so to speak, and I see you got something going on and you post it, shit, I'm gonna repost that shit like a motherfucker. You feel me? Because for one, I believe in what you got going for yourself. That's number one. Number two, I consider myself your friend. Three, I just want to support you. I want to assist with whatever you got going, whatever endeavors that are on your plate. I want the people that fuck with me to see who I fuck with got going. You know what I mean? But that shit is rarely, if not ever, reciprocated. And that's just something to think about. Like, just think about, and it's not even something that I've experienced. Think about you as a so-called friend to somebody else. Have you ever just reposted or shown support for your friend on social media? Have you? You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy that strangers will be more supportive on those platforms versus the friend. So again, sometimes as a friend, if you call yourself a friend, check yourself. Like, take a look in the mirror. Like, am I goddamn checking off all the boxes of friendship? Am I holding my end of the bargain up? You know what I mean? Not only, looking for friendship, you have to hold yourself in the same um accountability boat that you expect your friend to move and how they should act or react, given what you got going on, given what you are doing from a business aspect, or, just given, what emotional or mental support you may need. It has to be reciprocated. You dig what I'm saying? But that's like a lost art form. I just feel like people just kind of just have this expectation of how people should act or how they should move. And a lot of times their actions, what they do or lack thereof, will tell you exactly which category they fall into. Simple and plain. You just got to pay attention. Now, the associate, that is a large portion of the people around you. Because again, a lot of the people around you don't really have your best interest at heart. They're really only there to kick it with you or fuck with you if it benefits them. Whether it's going out to a club, lounge party, they hit you up because you bring part of the fun, the atmosphere that they're looking for. How many times, if you think about it, I know with me especially, when I was going out all the fucking time and partying it up, getting clubs, lounges, kickbacks, whatever you call it, I was there. I started to realize once I started to slow down, motherfuckers stopped hitting me up as much. Which again, I didn't take personally, but it was something that I observed. You know what I mean? Oh, now that I'm not really on that type time, y'all ain't really fucking with your boy, right? And I, like I said, I understood it, but those were associates. They would only hit me up or let me know what's going on if I could add to the atmosphere of what was happening. You did what I mean? Or you got that person that does have a business going, or they're on their entrepreneurial grind, but yet the only time they hit you up is when they're trying to get their business off. You know what I mean? That's the only time because again, it's gonna benefit them. That's the only reason they tapping it. And those gotta be those be the ones you gotta worry about. Those are those one-sided relationship. Have you ever um caught yourself, calling or texting certain individuals, every now and then. And if you don't reach out, if you don't text, you don't hear from crickets like a motherfucker. One-sided relationship. You feel what I'm saying? Like these are the associates I'm talking about, and you get in your feelings like, oh man, why the fuck this person ain't reciprocating, the friendship that I'm, attempting to provide or the times I'm there, the times I'm checking in or tapping in with them just to make sure they're straight? The answer is because they're just an associate, straight up and down. Like, that's that answer. So at times it's really up to us to pretty much decipher, figure out, and categorize, the people around us to know who is who, what category this person fits in versus that other person. You know what I mean? Like, we got to do the work too. We can't really always blame others for, the lack of friendship that they provide, or, the the times that they are not around in your time of need, or shit, so the times that you thought they should, at least check in to try to figure out what's going on while you ain't around. Because a lot of them, these associates I'm speaking about, is out of sight, out of mind. You know what I mean? If you really love a motherfucker, they're just not gonna not cross your memory bank, your mind. Like, then they're just, that's impossible. It's impossible to have that energy if, you know what I mean, if you are a true friend versus an associate. And sometimes it is our fault when it comes to, giving somebody the friendship title when they really don't deserve it. We gotta look in the mirror and hold ourselves accountable in that boat at times. I'm gonna give you like a quick story about, a time where I did the same. I gave this individual so much grace, right? You know what I mean? Of course, I was younger too, but in the same breath, I still gave a motherfucker grace in the friendship category. Again, before I even get into this story or this situation or these situations, so to speak, I want to preface my comments with, to this at this current time, there's no beef between us. I don't dislike this individual. It just came to a point when I kind of realized what it was and kind of looked back on, like, shit I let slide. And just, because I was more concerned about the friendship that I thought it was versus what it really was, optics versus reality, so to speak. You get what I'm saying? But there was like two situations that stood out to me that I definitely, when I was younger, I should have definitely just left it at that. You know what I mean? So the first situation was pretty much a situation to where I don't want to get into the specifics because, of course, motherfuckers is sensitive, and I don't mean that with any malice, but that's just the reality of it. So if if they come across this, they'll be, oh my, this guy talking shit, getting their feelings and shit. And then it's not even about that. I mean, when shit happens, it's an experience. You should be able to talk about it. So that's what I'm doing. So pretty much, this was one of the first situations that happened when I was in college. Pretty much, there was a situation to where they made a pass at the mother of my child. You feel what I mean? And we weren't together now, we wasn't, you know what I mean? But it was on that early, baby mama, daddy, relationship type shit, especially when you're young. You spinning the block a couple times, you feel what I'm saying? So I got wind of it, and I pretty much was like, okay, I'm not gonna trip like that because we're not together. But I am tripping because of our relationship. Like, you should just know better. You feel what I'm saying? Like, shit like that should be off limits. If we're friends, if we're really friends, and if we down, like, you feel me? So I remember, I was like, I ain't about to act up. I'm not about to like approach him like, a stranger off the street or somebody that's my enemy. I'm gonna give him the opportunity to kind of, say his piece or be like, my bad, or whatever the case may be, right? Um, and I approached him about it. You feel me? Um, he pretty much lied. Not in the technical aspect of saying he didn't do that. It was more so, I don't know what you're talking about. So that was the first red flag. Now I'm not gonna say what occurred afterwards. It was no violence occurred. Let's keep it at that, because at the end of the day we are, well, at least I thought, friends. So Um, that should have been the first red flag. Pretty much, um, his brother, pretty much was the person that stood in between us, so nothing went left. And I mean, at the time, I was heated. It wasn't the fact of what happened. It was kind of like two parts. Like, you should have known better, and then you just gonna lie to me when I just gave you the opportunity to, tell me what's up. Like, even if you would have gave me a different story, I'm giving you that space because I feel like you're my friend. Just shit, tell me your side. What happened? So the fact that you ain't saying shit, so I'm gonna go with, exactly what I was told, because you acting like you don't know what the fuck going on. You know what I mean? So I let that go. Let it slide. You know what I mean? After a few weeks or months, cooler heads prevailed. That cool. You know what I'm saying? That was the first red flag. There were some other things that happened over time that I'm not gonna get into, like little things here and there that I, overlooked and then was like, you know what I mean? It ain't that deep, you know what I'm saying? But now that I look back at it, like signs were goddamn written on the wall like a motherfucker. I just was illiterate at the time. I couldn't read them bitches. Like, I don't know. You feel what I mean? So there was another time, right? We had for a summer, one summer we had room together. We were roommates or whatever. And after that roommate situation, which I'm gonna say I fucked that one up because I ain't gonna lie, like not even on no friendship shit, but I'm gonna hold myself accountable. I had just got back from goddamn college, being a student athlete. This is my first like time really in a roommate situation outside of school, and I was not responsible at all. So like bills, rent, and all that shit, I ain't know how to do that shit. So I fumbled the ball on that shit. You feel what I mean? So, but I'm gonna hold myself accountable for that. You know what I mean? So, um, what happened in that situation when I left and I had moved back in with my mom's or whatever, I noticed that a lot of my DVDs were missing. And I didn't even think nothing of it, right? I didn't think none of it. I just felt like I lost them, from college, moving to spot to spot. Like, I went to school in Florida and went to Alabama and then came back to Georgia or whatever. Shit just gets lost while you just move. You know what I mean? So that's why I chopped it up. Now, I'm not sure how I found out. Um, I think bro had a like a CD case. You know how motherfuckers used to put like DVDs and CD cases or whatever. Um, I'm not sure what I was looking for or how I stumbled upon this, but a lot of the DVDs that I had missing were in his CD case. I'm like, what the fuck? So I ain't gonna lie, at that time that shit kind of hurt my feelings. You know what I mean? I'm keeping it buck with you because I'm like, damn, bro, like we already had one little situation to where I felt like you crossed the line. Now you still like you stealing from me, bro. But it ain't even that deep at the time because I'm young. I'm not even, at the mature or heightened level of thought that I am now. So I was just in my feelings. Like it wasn't even like the first time when I felt like he crossed the line. You know what I mean? This was more like, God damn, bro. So I I let that slide too. And what I mean by let it slide, I didn't even approach the situation because I think for me, I felt like I already knew what his response was going to be. And because I thought at the time we were friends or whatever, I kind of just gave him grace once again. You know what I mean? Like, I like, all right, shit, we gonna goddamn get over this. You know what I'm saying? Like, what I mean? It ain't that deep or whatever. Again, me just letting the motherfucker take advantage. I think that's why I'm so outspoken now. There's a lot of situations to where I let motherfuckers take advantage of me because I just felt like it wasn't that deep. And I didn't realize the principle that I was just letting slide and not really hold people accountable for and about. You feel what I mean? So maybe I want to say a couple of years ago, right? I'm not gonna get into the specifics, but I pretty much asked him to assist with something, right? And the motherfucker ignored me. You got, they didn't he didn't ignore me at first, but when it came down to being a part of what I presented to him, just to assist or whatever, motherfucker just stopped responding. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as via text message. So I didn't even get upset, right? I just like I was like, oh, okay. You know what? You never really was a friend anyway. And what I did was I just washed my hands with the situation. Like, like again, there's no beef or nothing like that. If we run into each other, it's gonna be like, what's up, how you doing, shit like that. But as far as us hanging tough or me putting you into that space with me anymore, like just from a general standpoint, I know where things stand. Like there's been too many situations and occurrences that have um showed me your true colors. Back then I let that shit slide. I was naive. I didn't want to really acknowledge it because I like, yeah, bro, my partner, we like family, but not really, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, but anything they got going on, I wish them the best in success of what they got going or what they whatever they pursue. But I just realized we just was never like we were friends because of associate or friends, how you want to define it, because of circumstances. You know what I mean? You just were in the same vicinity. You fought with the same people. You had mutual acquaintances, so to speak. And that's pretty much what that was. And I bring up that story, of course, we're not going to all have the same stories, but we're going to have similar situations to where, by somebody showed us their true colors, but we ignored it. We let them slide because we thought we were friends. Nah, you really have to be aware of, who really fucks with you versus who only fucks with you when it benefits them. Again, friends versus associates. You know what I mean? You save yourself a lot of disappointment, frustration, hell, sometimes sadness because when you can, I'm sorry, when you can distinguish between the two, you have expectations for a friend versus an associate, you just know what to expect. You see the difference? A friend you give expectations to. An associate, you know what to expect. Plain and simple. You know what I mean? It don't got to be trigonometry. It really don't. You know what I mean? If you just really think about it, do some critical thinking and kind of just reflect on shit, a lot of it will start making sense eventually. You're like, motherfucker ain't really fun, And or oh shit, I ain't really even considered this person really has been down for me, and I've been treating this motherfucker like shit. Not literally, but hey man, you have to keep good people in your circle. And regardless, and one thing I've done in the entirety of my adult life is when I've come across good, genuine people, I tend to try to keep them in my life because there's not a lot of good people out there. As far as how fucked up the world is, people be having hidden agendas and things of that nature. When you find a genuinely good person, keep that motherfucker around. Whatever capacity the relationship allows. You know what I mean? And that's real. Um, Another thing I wanted to get into is don't allow social media to affect your friendship. You know what I mean? Don't allow it to fool you. Of course, social media is a big, big thing in this day and age. But a lot of times people will fall out over social media practices. As that goes back to, when I was talking about support. Of course, me personally, if I see, a friend of mine that got something going on, at least one time, I'll repost some shit. At least one time. But you know, just because they're not reposting my shit, I'm not gonna take it personal. You know what I mean? Like everybody, you know, they use their social media platform for what they use it for. You know, whether it's reposting celebrity shit or just regular postings, that's just what they do. Hell, sometimes it may be a situation to where, like in my case, right? I don't be hitting the clubs and shit and lounges like I used to or whatever. I'm not gonna feel some type of way that, you know, say you're a friend of mine and that's what you do, and you posting all that shit that, you know, you got other friends that they're on that same type of time. But when we just kicking shit on some regular shit, you ain't posting shit. I ain't about to be goddamn in my feelings and thinking that deep into it, but there's a lot of people that do that. Like social media be a big thing. It's like the end all be all to a lot of people. And y'all gotta stop letting social media goddamn allow y'all to fall out like that whole you blocked me, you unfriended me, you did this, that. Like, come the fuck on, man. It's social fucking media. It's not real life. Now, if you wanna, I mean, if you want to make it a part of your real life and if that's what you want to dictate um what's real versus what's fake, then salute, do your thing. More power to you. Good luck in your venture. Excuse me, but don't allow that shit to affect reality and what is versus what really ain't. You feel what I'm saying? And with friendships, with relationships, and I'm not speaking about romantic relationships. I'm talking about like family relationships and shit like that, right? I kind of want to swerve into this next topic because it's all connected on some manifest on Netflix type shit. You know what I mean? If you wasn't a fan, if you ain't seen Manifest on Netflix, you're missing. That was a bar. But I want to speak about giving people their flowers while they're still here versus when they pass away. This is another major issue for me, and it actually and quite honestly gets on my fucking nerves. And I'm gonna get really serious with this one because I remember one time. Well, I mean, it's been several times, but this one last time, it was a funeral I went to, you know, being supportive. That was the reason I attended this funeral. But one of the individual's friends, the individual that passed away, friends, he was up there, right? And of course he was hurt. You know, your friend just passed away. He was so regretful in the fact that I guess the person that passed away had mentioned to him. I believe this individual he lived in a different city, a few hours away. I guess he kept asking him to come up because this was the story that he was explaining. And when he was, I guess, giving his speech or just saying his words, saying a few words for his deceased friend, he just kept hammering home on the guilt that he had. Oh, I should have did this. I should have came up. I should have did this. I should have did that. And my thing about it, of course, is a sensitive topic because we don't know when our time is up. But that same thought process should give us the energy, the motivation to be a part of our loved ones' lives. You get what I'm saying? Like I ain't speaking about hanging out every day or every weekend or every, you know what I mean? Like I ain't speaking about that, but if you really fuck with somebody and if they passed away tomorrow, you gonna be sad as shit and be regretful. Why not hit them up now? Why not tell that person how much they mean to you? Why not congratulate them on whatever they got? You dig what I'm saying? Yeah, we get caught up in our adult lives and everything that we got going on, but we just forget about fucking with the people that we supposed to fuck with. You know what I'm saying? Like me personally, one thing I do with shit after I get done doing this pod, I'm gonna do it again because I haven't done it in a while. I'll randomly hit somebody up in my call for my phone book in my phone or whatever, you know. on my contacts. Sound old as shit talking about some phone. But this would be like, hey, what's going on? How you been? What's new? You good? I always do that just randomly, just from, even somebody I went to high school with, played ball with, or just crossed paths, and, they was cool people. Just to check on the motherfucker. And the reason I do that is because if I consider you a friend of mine, I consider you a friend or a loved one for life. And I don't ever want to be that person, or I want to feel guilty for not reaching out, not checking on, a friend of mine. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be that. Of course, I'm gonna be sad if one of my loved ones passed away, but I don't ever want to be like, I could have did this. I should have did this. I don't want to be regretful if something tragic happens to a loved one, and that goes for family members as well. You get what I'm saying? Like, I ain't gonna lie, I ain't the best at keeping in touch because I'm what you call the introverted extrovert. You know what I mean? Like, I can be, outgoing, but a lot of times I like to, be by myself on some, I think that's part of my zodiac sign on some Pisces shit. But I will attempt to, just reach out from time to time, even if it's not us physically getting up, I will do that. So that's what I'm saying. Like, why don't we give our flowers to people while they're living? Like, what's wrong with that? You know what I mean? And I don't know for me, but I understand why just going, I don't even like going to funerals unless I, absolutely feel like I have to, or like the last one I went to is for supportive reasons. Um, it's like, why do we just overlook and don't think about how devastated we will be if something happens to our loved ones? You know, life is too precious. Life can be very short at times. You just don't never know. How many times have you had a falling out with somebody, family or friend, and something happens to them, and you're like, man, that whatever we was on, that wasn't even about shit. That was goddamn light. We could have tried to figure that shit situation out or something. It wasn't even that deep. You feel what I'm saying? You know what it is? Because I feel like we don't take time serious. You get what I'm saying? Like, we don't as a people. We think that tomorrow is promised. Like, we'll say all the cliche shit. Oh, tomorrow ain't promised. You never know. But do our actions show what we say? Hell the fuck no. So that's something that we have to be and get better at as a people. Like, for real, for real. Love on your loved ones. Love on your friends. Because people matter. People need people, regardless of how much you want to isolate yourself and act like you don't need nobody. That's not how humans are generated or programmed. We're programmed to have relationships, to have friends, to have camaraderie. That's just the truth of the matter. You get what I'm saying? And we just have to do a better job at that. Again, I'm gonna keep preaching, just for myself and just for others out there. Give flowers to people while they're here. It's not that hard. Just think about it. After you watch this episode, just hit up somebody that you ain't heard from or spoke to in a while that is a loved one or a friend. You don't know how long that goes for them. Like, they will appreciate it like a motherfucker. But us as humans, we're stubborn. They're not gonna say it, but they'll definitely appreciate it. And of course, we can't do everything perfectly, or everyone is flawed, but the biggest thing that we have to do is try, just do a good deed. You know what I'm saying? And not a good deed just for just anyone, just for your people. you know? And that's how, that's all I really wanted to kind of tap into on this episode, because a lot of this, we as people, we make life harder than what it has to be. We make relationships harder than what they have to be. We make friendships harder than what they have to be. If we all just do a little bit, then that doesn't allow any individual to have to do a lot. Let me say that again. If we all just do a little bit, that means everybody doesn't have to do a lot. Let that sink in. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. You already know the slogan. Everybody can talk, but not everyone can podcast. And with that being said, I'm out.